Hello everybody, and welcome back to Edgewater, Saskatchewan, episode 36, I think we're on now. 36. It's still white. I was kind of hoping this snow would melt, but it didn't. I think it snowed a little bit more. And the frustrating thing is we've got sunshine all day today, and then right in the very evening, there's more snow. So it looks like potentially this might be here for the next episode as well, which is a bit annoying. But there you go, it is what it is. We didn't do the pre-work. I fully intended to get a salt spreader and kind of salt the whole area, because I've not really done that before, just to kind of see what the outcome was. But I didn't do it. I lost track of time, and now we're dealing with the consequences. But it's fine. Pretty much a big sale, part 2 again, I guess, because we have got quite a bit of very badly stacked, but quite a bit of stuff to sell. Decent amount of money's worth there, you know, I reckon. It's a bit deceiving because these are not 1,000 per pallet. They always look like I can pick them up, but I definitely can. Yeah, so decent amount of money's worth. In fact, we will start off now by having a look at what the prices are. So we've got maple syrup, I know, is always at the bottom. Wow, I mean that looks pretty good. 4,353. Not quite max. The absolute max is March, but I don't want to be doing this for the next 2 episodes. We need to kind of sell it all, see what we're left with, and move on, I guess, to bigger things. So lettuce, again, not quite at its best price potentially, but it isn't far off, is it really? The Red Marble Bowling Restaurant, which is where I think we sell it most years, is pretty much leading the way at the minute. So it might change a bit by the time we finish loading up these last few bits. It's produced even more overnight. It's such an easy way to make money, isn't it, maple syrup? These Canadians are onto something. Definitely. It's very picturesque kind of weather today, isn't it? Looks really nice. What a view. I do need to check, actually, jump back into this menu, because I'm pretty sure the honey should be there or thereabout for prices as well. If I can remember where the honey is. There it is. So, best we got 3,362 this time at the fast food restaurant. Yeah, that's actually better than the maximum that it was last year. So we do need to get rid of that as well. So pretty much know how we're going to start the episode. I'm going to get straight into trying to load these up. I might have to do 2 trips though, because it is a real struggle when you get to that 3rd level with this tractor. So I may just slowly head over, sell what we've got, and come back and reload the rest of it. I think that's probably safest, isn't it? And don't forget, because I didn't forget, I forgot to put straps on this, which is very, very silly of me. So I'm going to have to be so cautious doing this. We could do with heading back down to the shop at some point, actually, and attaching those straps to it, because it is a bit of a nightmare. Now, so hopefully in the meantime, you may have watched it, you may not have watched it. It's kind of a different kind of thing, not something I usually do, and that was the landscaping episode where I jumped on and helped Otero out, who's actually playing on the Bloomfield, Canada map. So in theory, I mean, I say relatively close to where we're playing, probably not, given how vast Canada is, but a little bit of roleplay, I guess, in the sense that we kind of drove our own truck up there, played on his map for it's probably a good hour and a half, 2 hours I think I was doing it for, and made ourselves a little bit of side earnings. In fact, the amount that we agreed on in the end was £10,000 and a bit of a service and a bit of a paint job on our truck, which needed it. Definitely needed it. So we'll do a bit of a grand reveal on that at some point in this episode. It's not fully fixed, but kind of maybe role played a little bit of a service, and also a half decent paint job. So the truck does look better. It looks a lot better, in fact. Now the sell point for this is a little bit fiddly, isn't it? Wow, look at that though. Couldn't give you an overall price because that was a little bit tricky, but we're on £178,347 now. So this is good. Right at the beginning of the episode, we're approaching, we're not far off the $200,000 mark. Now, if I'm honest, I'm not 100% sure what we will spend it on right at this moment in time. For a couple of reasons, actually. The flax straw is that there's so much of it. There's so much of it. We probably don't really need to prioritize making more. The production itself is relatively slow, so I guess that's the kind of downside to flax straw. It only does about 500 per game month, so really, you know, it's going to take a couple of months for us to even generate one pallet. So actually, we don't need it. We've probably got another 80,000 litres worth of straw just piled up outside of that spinnery. So that actually isn't going to be a priority. I mentioned in the last one, let's make like a dedicated flax field. Don't think we need to do that. I do still, however, want to buy another field. God, isn't this difficult to do in the snow? Can't even see where your forks are. Is that going to get it? Cool, that is tricky. So yeah, I do want to get another field, but the whole idea of purely for flax and for straw is not necessarily needed. However, the spinnery does generate a decent amount of fabric, almost twice as much per month actually from wool. So sheep 100% is the way to go. So thanks for that suggestion. But as pointed out, as I kind of made the mistake of doing first time round, I really need to boost the environmental score as much as possible before I start putting placeables down. Because once I've set that score, I can't really amend it. And we're not going to be able to do that as long as the snow's around. So we'll see. Maybe that'll be a thing we can get on with this episode. Probably a good chance we won't. Oh, this is really tricky. It's really tricky when you can't see where your forks are. And this tractor has absolutely no grip at all. So we'll just get on, we'll do this. If it's too fiddly, I'll just skip it. I don't want to spend 20 minutes of an episode trying to stack honey. That is for sure. Okay, last pallet of the honey going on. Don't judge me on my stacking. It's snowing. Oh gosh. Okay, maybe you can judge me on that amateur mistake though. Yeah, that is not going to work, is it? Okay, good. Right, there's a couple of pallets of lettuce I think that generated overnight. I completely cleared it. This greenhouse is insane how quickly it generates the produce. It's really good. I'm assuming there aren't any more than the two that we can see, but I'm not going to risk driving the trailer over because I know I will end up losing the whole load. I know I'll do it. It's just the way it goes, isn't it? So we'll just get these popped on as well, and I think probably head down straight to the shop. I know if I left it maybe till the end of this episode, till the kind of end of February, it would probably be worth a little bit more, but I am kind of, it gets a bit tedious all of this selling, the backwards and forwards loads, and I just want to know how much money we got. What have we got to waste? What have we got to play with? And potentially what's going to come up in that used shop today, because it's been pretty good to us. I think it's fair to say. It's been pretty reasonable to us. Okay, loaded up. So we'll check in one more time. So, yeah, fast food restaurant is definitely the best place to go to for the honey. What about the lettuce? To be fair, fast food restaurant is actually also pretty well priced. There's only $7 in it, so let's just head to the fast food restaurant and sell the whole lot. Big bulk sale. Pretty much know where the fast food restaurant is, we've been there before. We'll also be able to, on our way up, just check in on the new field and see what the kind of snow situation is like, I guess, because it would be great if we could get on with some of the field work ready to go. I do need to get those sheep placed as soon as possible, just so that they're generating us some of that extra money. Now I'm taking the slow tractor this time as well, just in case we have any issues and I have to push anything off. But I'm hoping we won't have too many problems today. Well, I am glad I brought this tractor, because would you believe it, right at the end, just as we got here, they had a bit of a moment. They kind of, yeah, they went a bit crazy on the back there. Don't know why. I've been driving so carefully. And it looks like another one is going to go. I'm hoping not. Try and get around this corner so slowly. Now I'm hopeful this should take us over $200,000. I'm pretty sure it will. While that is there, let's go and get these 2 pallets. I mean, good start. 203,190. We've got these 2 pallets and probably that pallet that's kind of at a bit of a funny angle actually, because they don't tend to sell when they're at a funny angle. So we'll pick these up as well. At least we can see what we're doing this time around. And I did a worse job. I could see what I was doing and I did worse. There we go. Yep, so we have got that other pallet there as well, which I could probably knock down flat. Hopefully. Lovely. I tell you what, whoever suggested beehives, well, probably quite a few episodes ago, but I never really bothered. But this is generating quite a lot of money, isn't it? This was another good shout for definite. Let's pick up this last pallet. So 207,495 is our current money, which is amazing. That's a lot, in fact. Considering what we've spent, that really is a great deal. I haven't checked the shop. Let's have a look. Nothing there we really need. That forklift is still there though. I don't think I need it. Okay, so to be completely honest, the field is still covered in snow. I had a quick look on the way past as we drove past very slowly, but it is still covered. Things like liming, fertilising, doing the bits to boost that environmental score, it's just gonna be challenging. I mean, I've never tried it. I've never tried to lime in the snow. Maybe it deletes all the snow when you do it, it kind of changes the texture. I'm not so sure. But realistically, it's probably not the right time of the year to be worrying about it. So, we can't do the sheep this episode. But, what we can do is the long-awaited upgrade for the pigs. And I think it's the right time to do it. So we've got quite a bit of cash, a lot more cash than what I thought we had. And we've also actually got this handy trailer, which in between recordings I did check, and definitely does have a kind of module for animals. I think it takes 20, maybe it takes 18, but pretty much every single pig that we've got we could put into this trailer. So we're going to head to the shop. We're going to buy that module. We're going to put all of our pigs inside of it. Pretty much let the food run down to not a great deal at all. Which was sort of my thinking as to why I've not really topped them up for an episode or a few episodes at least, I should say. So we will get that done. I do notice in the distance, it looks very green. Why is it so green? Is that just... oh, there you go. It's just the textures are loading in. Maybe I need to tweak my rendering distance a little bit. Yeah, normally does render a bit further than that, I thought. I got excited for a minute. I thought maybe the snow was starting to melt. Obviously not. I've got a pretty good idea of which pigsty to go for. It's a big one. It's quite expensive. I think it's 45 grand, which is quite pricey, but we need to do it. I mean, you know, the initial 2 pigs, I know I've sold them, but I've had them from, you know, the original episodes of this series. So pigs is very much a thing that we've done from the beginning, and every pig that we got in one way or another is related to our 2 original pigs. So we do need to look after them. It's only fair, isn't it? Right, we're here finally. I think I cut that journey like 2 or 3 times actually, but it's so tedious. I forget how good the other tractor is. Oh, which is actually there. I forgot we left it there. Yeah, it's so tedious. Oh, honestly. 16 miles per hour. Right, let's jump into the shop and let's see how much this module is. Now, I don't actually know where it's kept. Probably in miscellaneous. Maybe. Maybe not. Nope. What would it actually be under? I mean, is it just under animal transport? Oh yeah, it is. There you go. So, I guess you just reverse the trailer up to it, a bit like the pickup truck, the bed of the pickup truck. You just reverse up to it and it kind of connects. Don't need to change the colour. I did notice on the first screen there, it's actually 16 pigs, or 16 pieces of pig. I don't quite know what that means, but yeah, not quite all of the pigs, but that's fine. We're probably due to sell a couple of the older ones maybe. Temporarily, I could probably still stick 2 of them in the other little trailer we got actually. So the majority of the pigs will keep. So £7,500. Just about puts us under $200,000. Fine. But good. It's a nice little buy. Let's see how this works. I assume you just reverse up to it. You do indeed. That looks alright actually, doesn't it? That looks like a pretty good trailer. Not too bad at all. So let's head on back very slowly. We'll come back for the case at some point, because that journey is far less tedious, so we will grab that. I did have a comment actually, just thinking about the case. What I should probably do, and certainly while it's here by the shop, is just do the repair on it. Just to kind of maximise its power, I guess, because that forage wagon is definitely going to drain the power as and when it comes to doing the next lot of picking up, which isn't yet. It's not yet for a minute, but while we've got the money, it just seems like a good thing to prioritise the spend on, I guess. So we will do that probably at some point in this episode. It's not overly important, but we will get that done. Now anyway, I'll just make the long tedious drive home. Okay, here we are, finally. The fuel light is flashing quite a bit on this tractor. So, while I remember, for a change, let's top it up before it runs out. Because I think we are going to be keeping this tractor for a little while. We're just kind of waiting for the shop to give us something decent in use, to be honest, but it doesn't really seem to give you a great deal of choice with tractors, so we'll fuel it a little bit. So we're going to head straight down, put as many pigs as possible into this trailer, and then we'll move it out of the way. We'll probably put a couple of pigs in the other trailer, which is just in front of us. Again, move that out of the way, and then we'll take a hit on the last couple of pigs left over and delete that pigsty. Be the end of an era. Now, where is it going to let me put the trigger for this particular trailer? How close do I need to get? Oh, there you go. Okay, there we go. There's our first 16 pigs. Just 4 little piggies left over, all lonely. Let's back this up here out of the way. So I'm going to place the... oh god, I nearly lost it then. I'm going to place the pigsty now, because that will probably help determine where the track is going to go. I know the track is going to go here to the left. Oh dear. I did not expect that to happen. That's an interesting way of storing pigs. I could actually get 2 of those modules and keep twice as many pigs. That's interesting. Didn't think it would have done it like that. There we go. Yeah, the track is definitely going over here to the left. That is for sure. But actually, by placing this quite large pigsty, at least I'm going to be able to tell roughly where the track will actually go. So we'll do that, pick up 2 more. There we go. Unfortunately, we'll have to drive down, we'll have to get rid of the other 2 pigs. They didn't quite make the cut, literally. Well, they will make the cut, I'm sure, but not for us anyway. So we're going to get rid of that. We'll jump into landscaping. Probably going to have to delete that shed, but I'll see how it goes. There may be a few little other bits that I need to maneuver as well. I might need to move that trailer, for example. We're definitely going to have to move this manure pit too. So the 1800 litres worth of manure there, really, we might as well put into that greenhouse. So let's do that a moment. There we go. Everything is moved out of the way. Shed's empty. Manure pit is clear. The only thing we're going to lose is 14,000 litres of slurry. And I don't quite know what to do about it. I mean, it's not a great deal, is it? It's really not. We need to do it either way. 7,245 litres of straw. The water, I think the new pigsty is kind of a self-filling one. I don't think you have to actually top that up with the water. However, I can probably do, I'll call it PC trickery. It's not really trickery, it's genuine because it's what's actually in there. But I could probably keep the quantity of straw, slurry and food in the new pigsty as if we just transferred it over. Just because you have the ability to do that, I guess, with the development tools. So I will probably do that. I don't think that's cheating. I think, if anything, it's probably more realistic than throwing it all in the bin. So we'll do that. So we'll get straight into it. I'll make a quick note of those quantities in the corner, and then we'll get on with it. Okay, and there it is. It's fair to say it's a little bit larger. In fact, it's quite tricky for me to fit in, but it's okay, that's alright. So, you know, I do like things to be a bit tight anyway, so that's fine. We'll probably place another shed back here, a similar kind of thing. That shed that was there was not going to work, wasn't going to fit, but we'll do one. Maybe we'll tuck it in a bit more around the corner, just so we've got a shed here to store the food. However, pretty good. I've just done a basic little bit of landscaping around it. Obviously this kind of roadway was already here. I've actually placed another manure pit almost in the same position it was in before, actually. Kind of looks like it's part of the building now. Hopefully that will generate the manure, and then this is the point where you collect the slurry. So yeah, it looks alright. Looks pretty good. Okay, so we'll slowly back this into the trigger. Don't know where it is. It's quite far back. Let's try there. There we go. I did manage to get the other 2 in there already. So let's get all of these moved over. They do still have a little bit of food. We did manage to keep a little bit from the old pigsty. Okay, amazing. So they are all back in there. So we did lose 2 more, but that'll be it for a minute or two. We're not going to need to sell them for a little while. They have got a little bit of food. They pretty much got the exact same amount of food that they had in the old pigsty. I just kind of transferred that over, to be honest, and also the same amount of straw, give or take a little bit. I couldn't convert the slurry over, so there's nothing I could do about that, to be honest with you. So we have lost that little bit of slurry. In hindsight, maybe should have spread a little bit onto the field, but again, it's that whole snow thing really, so it doesn't matter. But wow, isn't it good to just have such a big pigsty for them now? They've got plenty of room. Hopefully the trigger will work fine. I know some of these are a bit weird, and hopefully it does generate that manure, but pretty good. It looks alright. Just got a little bit of shed work and things to do, but we will leave that. We'll leave that until we do the actual track. So in the meantime, I will download some kind of bridge packs and see what we can get going, really, to try and make that track leave out the side of our farm in that direction over there. Now I have earned just, I think it was 10,700 maybe, from doing the contract, the fertilising contract before it snowed. We've earned another £10,000 from Altair for doing the landscaping. And yeah, I don't know if we will be getting any more contracts in the meantime. It's the wrong time of the year, really. But we have got, you know, probably £21,000 just to pay for purely landscaping and tracking and buying a couple of bridges. And then at the same time, we'll look at this corner over here and sort a track out. But good. I mean, I feel like that's an achievement. Not a great deal has happened in this episode, but that is good. I'm happy with that. And these guys look pretty happy too. So we are pretty much there, but I'm gonna end the episode on the unveil of the truck. So it's currently parked in the garage. We'll head over now, and yeah, so I think it looks awesome. I think it looks pretty damn cool. A couple of little minor tweaks to it, as well as changing the colour. So it's certainly looking pretty pimp compared to what it did before. There she is. What a machine. Yep, looking pretty good. I like it. I like it. I was cheeky on the little addition of the bull bar at the front as well. Just makes it look cool. So yeah, ideal. I'm no longer driving around in a beat up truck. So, we'll end the episode with the view we had when we started. Thank you very much for watching. Probably not the most interesting episode in the world today, but certainly making progress, kind of finding things to do while the snow's still around, to be honest with you. I just don't want to keep skipping those months, but hopefully it's going to melt soon and we can start getting on with some proactive stuff. We've got a whole field to plant. We've got £152,814 to spend, and we have got to get some sheep. That's the priority. So thank you again for watching. I'm pretty sure, I'm kind of hopeful I've set it up ready. The next episode that you see will actually be the first episode in the Valley, the Old Farm, which is that kind of realistic style approach that I'm going to try and go for. So I try and go for realistic in every series, but this one is going to be a real kind of try hard kind of series. So we'll see how it goes. The first episode of a series kind of makes or breaks you, to be honest. You know pretty quickly if it's going to be good or if it's not. So we'll see what happens. But I know that everyone who's subbed to me will watch it, and I appreciate the feedback, the comments, and just being able to talk to you, and even in Altair's case, being able to actually play online, which is great. And hopefully it won't be long before I get quite a few players into this map with me. I have checked it. All mods are 100% crossplay. It'll be really easy to join. So yeah, keep your eyes open and your ears listening for that, I guess. See if I can organise something and get some people on board. But once again, for the third time, thanks very much. And until the next episode, cheers and gone.